Ooh, 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 ooh. Mhm, 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 mhm. Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to See Blissfully Lit podcast. I'm your host, Sammy, and it is my divine pleasure today to welcome our guest, Justyna. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hello, hello.
Could you start by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, born and bred in Poland. Uh, I moved to the UK about 13 years ago, and this is where I have rediscovered myself, so to say. And I've been living and working here. I'm a conference interpreter, part-time Pranic healer. Um, I don't know what else you'd like to know about me. Um, is there anything in particular?
No, that's absolutely wonderful. Anything you want to share. You can even share your favorite color if you so choose.
My favorite color, maybe. um, well, typically, I'm much better asking questions than answering them. So just bear with me while I'll get used to you asking me questions and me responding, like being on this on in the highlight or the limelight, even with your podcast. So yeah, I'll keep this answer short and maybe say more later if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds lovely. Before we dive in any deeper, I'd love to hear what magic means to you and how it plays a role in your journey of life.
What magic means to me. So I mean, depends when you ask me, to be honest, and in what context, because magic can show up to us as something magnificent and huge, but it can also be found in very small moments. So it's that special feeling, that chill running down your spine, that moment of awe, maybe stillness, there's little nuggets that you get while you go through your day, your life, whatever you cycle, whatever you refer it, whatever you think about. So depends, like on the yeah, you can find it in the big scale or on the small, but then I think, yeah, that moment where you feel that something special has just happened, and you typically I will get like a chill running down my spine then, and I know that it's magic. And you know this, on a spiritual journey and as a pranic healer, you tend to not even experience but notice things more because you open to the possibility of something really extraordinary happening in your life, whilst you just go about your things and maybe not even noticing. So yeah, that's what magic is.
Yeah, I relate to that and also see some similar signs when I notice magic moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like the the hairs coming up on my arm is definitely,
Right.
or I've felt tingling on my scalp before, or just
Yeah,
being a sign that really just stands out to you.
stands out to you. Or sometimes I get this when talking to people or working with my clients, and this is like a new thing, I'd say, since I've been more aware on my spiritual path. I say something, and it's almost like, where did that come from? But there was no other way for me but to say it. And I know I didn't come up with it. And then I have this feeling that, that sensation running down my crown and my back. And it's like, okay. And usually what comes out is magical. But I don't take any credit for it, to be honest.
Yes, it's almost a lot of times I'll be giving guidance or advice or just talking someone through something, and that
Mm.
happens with me too. And
Mm.
say, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And
Ah,
in some cases, I say stuff and it also comes out what I needed in the moment. I don't know
right.
if you've ever experienced that, but
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah, yeah.
guidance
It
that
happens
maybe
too.
you needed too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. I can definitely relate to that. Mm.
But very unexplainable experiences.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I reflected now because I was visiting my family a couple of weeks ago, and my sister, she's got two kids, 12 and 7. So my niece and my nephew, and I was spending some time with them. And they are at this stage, especially my niece. She's now 11, so she's kind of transitioning from this world of play and magic and where impossible becomes possible into more realistic view of things and life. Whereas my nephew is still in that, okay, the floor is lava, and it really is lava in your living. So it was really interesting to see, that at some point we tend to get snapped out of that magical, imaginative world where anything is possible. And we being brought down to reality and kind of anchored in the material, in sensations, in feelings, in emotions, and just roll with it and forget about all that magical world that's still out there, and we kind of close off to the possibility that something magical can happen. So that just a reflection, at the back of me spending some time with the kids and seeing these differences. Um, yeah.
No, that's a really good point that you bring up.
Mm.
I always try to bring out that childlike play in my life, even as an
Mm.
and I was playing with my nephews this weekend, and
Yeah.
we were just having that imaginative play.
Yeah.
And those were some of the most blissful moments. I mean,
Mm.
meditate regularly as an arhotic practitioner, and to maintain my energy body for healing clients. And some of the bliss that you can experience just playing with children and using your
Ah,
imagination can be just as
mm.
blissful as sitting in that stillness and meditation.
Yeah, true, true. Because to be able to play with them, you need to detach yourself from reality and kind of sink into their world a little bit, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, 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 I can understand that. Mm.
I'm curious, could you share a story of a turning point in your life that transformed your path into pranic healing and more of a conscious living?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I've been practicing yoga for like 20 years, okay. And so I could say, and I mean physical and spiritual and mental aspects of the yogic practice as we know it. And so I think going back to 20 years ago, when I first attended a yoga class, I think now, upon reflection, that was one of the main turning points for me because it wasn't anything special. It was a typical yoga class in a fitness studio in the area. So it was focusing more on the physical aspect of it. And then, believe it or not, I left that yoga class. I went outside and I smoked a cigarette because I was still the smoker back then. And so from then on, I think somehow the ball got rolling because I kept practicing step by step. No smoking, no meat, no dairy, kind of transitioning naturally, discovering that interconnectedness between your mind, your spirit, your body, your emotions in a anchored in a yogic tradition. And then the second turning point, I think, was when I met my partner. He was the one um, who really introduced me to spirituality as a concept. And through him, through his practices and devotion, I was discovering spirituality for quite a while. But there were certain blockages in me, in my energy body, and we know about this as Hatha yoga practitioners and spiritual aspirants, so to say. There are certain things that are sometimes stopping you, and there was this mental block because brought up in a Catholic home, in a Catholic culture and religion. I associated any spiritual practice with that religious burden, I might say, because it was never pleasant. It was something I just had to do. So, and you know how Master Choa says that pranic healing is a bridge to spirituality. And for me, it really, really was, because though I was exposed to a lot of spiritual content through my partner, I was still a bit closed off and wasn't able to fully engage and commit and follow. And then I discovered pranic healing through Master Co doing meditations online, in short. Um, and yeah, it's just an upward journey from there. When I first started meditating online, you know, short meditations, quick meditations, but very long lectures, I was so interested in what he had to say, and a lot of it made so much sense, as you can probably relate. And then it was during the pandemic, so I decided there and then, you know, once everything opens, I'm gonna enroll for a course. And now, you know, these concepts, these practices, and everything that we are given as a part of pranic healing and then our hatha yoga, you know, it just sits so well, and it's so comfortable, and it's so so together, I don't know how else to describe it. It just makes perfect sense, and it opened me up to the possibility of opened me up to this, basically. So yeah, so I do think that it first started with that yoga class 20 years ago, and now we just continue on the journey.
It's pretty incredible. Uh, so you starting your yoga classes about 20 years ago, and you started practicing the meditation with Master Co about approximately 5 years ago, would you say?
Yeah, yeah, around that time.
Um, with the yoga practice, I know many people practice yoga and it's exercise and primarily exercise.
Uh-huh.
What is your view on yoga? And I, as a, I'm also a yoga instructor, so I see a different aspect of yoga, and I actually
Yeah.
do it in a more spiritual way. So I'm curious about your views of yoga.
It started off with the physical. I had no idea. and then but very quickly, I moved into a new city, and the only school available in the area, by accident, the only school available in the area where I could comfortably travel to was Iyengar's yoga school. And so I was very, very lucky to have amazing teachers who would teach yoga, you know, for what it is. So it's a spiritual practice in essence. Yes, there is a physical aspect, but just be aware of all the other components. And we would read from scriptures. We would kind of do an intention. There would be chanting. There would, you know, so all of that. Though I only wanted the yoga, you know, the physical practice, um, all of that kind of was there. So I benefited, and slowly, step by step, it would open me up to workshops and retreats and things like that. So I was very, very lucky to have amazing teachers um, who, who guided me through this and kind of taught what yoga really is. Um, and now unfortunately, I don't have a school like this one in the area, but you know, the awareness is there. At some point, you're able to understand yourself why you're doing certain things in a yoga practice, even though you practice with people who might not and are there for the physical aspect of it. It's almost like the intelligence is there, that the knowledge is there, so you don't need to be reminded that much. That's my my experience. What do you think? Why do people come to you? Mostly for the physical, or?
I think mostly, at least in my area, uh, for the physical, for the exercise is a very popular reason to practice yoga.
Mm,
There are more hot studios that pop up.
mm,
One of the first places I taught at was a gym, and I learned at a hot studio.
hmm.
Although now, I I started yoga teacher training alongside pranic healing, so
Okay.
they kind of built together. And as you may know, yoga means union, and yoga
Yeah.
can be kind of a union of the body and the soul, and bringing
Hmm.
that awareness of both,
Hmm.
rather than, either going throughout life without having the awareness of,
Yeah.
on top of the deeper presence that you can find when you recognize the body and the soul. So now I would say people come into my classes perhaps to relax, to de-stress, and they find a deeper part of themselves because of the way that I teach. And
Hmm. Hmm.
that flows very naturally. It's not something that I intentionally do. It just started to happen as I was teaching classes. I was teaching fitness classes and I was still getting people to connect with their souls, you know. You
Mm,
you can't really um it's kind of like we described magic. You you can't really stop something that's meant to be.
hmm.
And I have realized in teaching yoga classes that I'm meant to guide people into these states and help them to relax and to find presence in their body and peace, whatever level that they are at. It can just be this awareness of your musculature and how relaxed you feel, or it can be this deeper awareness and connection with a spiritual side of yourself.
And it's amazing that you have become that conduit, you know, uh, and that you know the role you play in these people's lives. It's very clear from the way you're describing it. It's very clear to you. And you know, yoga being a physical practice, we know that when you move, when you um, stay in certain asanas, energy flows differently through your body. Certain chakras open, certain chakras will expel, and through that, your aura becomes clearer, cleaner, and you get a better clarity of who you really are, right? And then there is this shavasana at the end where you can really assimilate what your body has already felt. You kind of assimilate. Me, this is what it is. What your body has felt, your soul assimilates, kind of. Um, but I wanted to mention something about yoga. I think I forget. Maybe it'll come back. Maybe it'll come back. I wanted to say something about yoga practice, but maybe it'll come back.
Yeah, surely it'll come back to you.
Yeah.
This may be a harder one to find, and it might just come straight to you. But could you describe an extraordinary experience or a synchronicity that you've encountered that was just shocking to you and or bewildering?
Synchronicity. What do you mean by that? I don't think I fully understand what you mean by that.
So an experience that cannot be explained
Hmm.
ordinarily if you're really paying attention, and that could be maybe hearing something, seeing something, or everything just falling right into place.
Okay. Well, all of the above. I think almost oh, quite frequently, actually. Um, but the most recent one, I tell you, because my partner, he's also a pranic healing practitioner and hatha yogi, and we're very lucky to be on that journey together. Very, very lucky. Um, and very recently. I was thinking about something, and I just wanted to talk to him about something, and basically maybe suggest that he does something, right? And then we talk on the phone, and he says, "Do you know what? I decided that I'm going to do this exact thing that I've been meaning to ask him to do." Um, and then, we're open about these things with each other because we understand how energy flows. And we had a little giggle about, understanding without words and all of that. There is definitely something in that. So a small thing like this, right? It's a very pragmatic, if you like, but just shows that if two people are open to the signals that are being sent, a thought form is energy, and I was thinking it for a while, and I was projecting it towards him. So he just picked it up. So understanding energy, we know what happened, right? Um, but yeah, small things like that. But on a bigger scale, I think I instantly think of the experiences that I have with clients, right? And working, applying pranic healing techniques. Um, some might think you're just waving your hands in the air, but actually, whatever happens is deeply spiritual, has got a meaning beyond our understanding very often, and if not all the time. um and yeah, the transformation that I see, the sensations that I have, the things that I'm sometimes being shown during healing sessions, all of that is inexplicable if you think about science point of view, right? I know I can explain it because I know about energy and pranic healing. I'm lucky enough to be privy to these things, these teachings, right? But I wouldn't openly talk to random people about what I've seen or what I experienced, because then it would be difficult to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes difficult to receive by the receiver and
That
understand.
too. Yeah. 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 Very much so. Um, and then things falling into place more in hindsight, like reflecting on my life. I don't think I'm, well, maybe getting better at, but in the past I wasn't very good at recognizing moments, like pivotal moments, or moments where I should really be feeling deeply grateful for what's currently taking place. But now in the hindsight, I feel like there were many moments in my life where it was like the sliding door moment, right? I either go this way or that way, and depending on what I do and what I choose, a certain reality or certain future is going to unfold. So I think I deeply believe that everything happens for a good reason, right? We might not know it at a certain time, but it does happen for a good reason, and it's always happening for you, not to you. And now reflecting back on my life, I can really see many, many moments like that actually speak to what I believe in today, what I didn't know before. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that simple reflection on it too. Uh, and I believe that's something that our teacher, Master Ko, touches on quite often. And I believe his teacher, Grandmaster Chogokutsui,
Mm,
also
mm, mm,
touched on that topic of um, life is not happening to you, and avoiding falling into that victim state, but really seeing the beauty and the glory and how it's happening for you. And
definitely. I think I first heard it from Tony Robbins,
uh,
at one of his events. I think, and this was a thing I really needed to hear at that time, amongst other things. But that that was definitely something I needed to hear. What about you? Do you have any recent experiences like that you want to share?
all the time. I've honestly had these experiences since I was a child, and
Uh,
you mentioned, thinking things and other people responding to them when they're clear enough. And I had many friends throughout the years, like, good pals in school, and we would pretty much telepathically communicate with each other.
mm, mm,
I would think of them, they would call me, or I would think of them, we would show up and meet up with each other. You know, it's so minute, but it's very much there. Uh, I would say I've also had some of these experiences in dreams
Mm.
and dreaming, sometimes during meditation. And during meditation is a time where I receive a lot of guidance and clarity on
Mhm.
aspects of life and sometimes how to proceed with things. Obviously,
Mm.
I reflect on it and I utilize discernment in making those choices, but a lot of the time it's very clear and it makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
Uh, and I trust in it because it's helping me to become a better version of myself. And
Definitely.
realistically, when you are meditating, you are clearing the extra thought forms, the extra ideas, emotions that come into populate your aura, which is essentially the capsule that your body is in
Mm.
from other people. And
Mm.
you're actually connecting with yourself and with your truest state of being. And like you said, everything in life is happening for you. Realistically, everything that is to happen in life is already fairly laid out. And it's all for you to discover your truest self and really embrace that in living the day to day. And life just unfolds so naturally and so synchronistically. And it can literally happen every single day.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll have an impulse to go do something that doesn't exactly fit into the schedule, but there's time for it.
Mm.
Or it just doesn't really make sense to go do it, but maybe it'll be fun for me. And a lot of the time I get too serious about stuff and my guidance, my inner guidance, myself tells me to go have fun. And
Mhm.
usually when I go do that, more really good things happen.
Mm.
During that time, perhaps I meet somebody,
Yeah.
and they give me this really amazing message or we become really great friends. You never know what magic sort of situations can happen when you start to
Yeah.
really align with who you truly are.
Mhm. Oh, it's. I think it's the essence of what you're saying is just stay open to whatever's coming in, because I think we tend to, you know, we as humanity in general, we tend to be very agile solar plexus oriented, right? Like willfully trying to achieve whatever we set out to achieve, being
Yeah.
dragged by emotions or swayed by whatever. Um, and it's when you open the heart, it's when you open the crown, your forehead chakra, when you kind of start receiving at a different frequency. I think this is where the magic happens. um yeah, just be open to the possibility that maybe what you think is right for you isn't right for you, and there are higher beings out there who knows exactly what is right for you at this particular time. Whatever you call it, be it your inner self, be it your soul, be it your guides, your spiritual teachers, whoever you want to refer to, God, universe, you know but there is definitely that. I see it as an overarching energy um that knows it all. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah,
It makes
that's
sense.
how I see it.
Like the all-seeing eye almost.
Oh yeah,
Knows
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything and sees everything.
Mm. And it's kind of it sometimes it brings relief. I mean, I'm becoming better um, at letting go, and I mean the true sense of letting go, right? Not just, oh, just like because it's got mainstream, so and keeps being repeated. That's an aside note. It's got mainstream, it keeps being repeated, and I don't think often we think about what it means to let go often enough. But for me, in the spiritual sense, um, is basically just whatever happens, happens, right? Like in meditation, just whatever happens, happens. And it brings relief in moments where you're struggling, where you don't know where to go, you don't know where to turn, you can't make your mind up or whatever. Just sitting back and saying, okay, it's all good. It is all good. It is all God. It's going to be okay. Whatever happens, happen. Um, and yeah, and it usually does, and it ends up being good.
Yes.
Um, when you stop striving to realize an idea that you might have created for yourself, or yeah, it's of course I'm not perfect, but I'm just kind of saying that I'm more familiar with that feeling, that letting go, feeling of relief that letting go brings. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. The way
When you
sorry.
no,
The
it's just just when you say give yourself in the hands of God, or however the phrase goes, this is literally it. But
yeah.
for that to happen, I think you have to believe, you have to be certain that it's going to be good, because everything is God, So, yeah.
That's true. That's true. And the way you describe letting go, that resonates with me deeply.
Mm,
Um, kind of allowing all of your opinions to just kind of melt away and
yeah,
see what really is in front of you, seeing it a little more clearly versus through the various lenses that we can put on. And typically, those lenses come from different perceptions in our chakras.
definitely. Definitely. It's being filtered through it. Yeah. Through your experiences, through your perceptions, your mental body, your emotional body, right? It's all tinted by it. It's almost like asking yourself a question, but what does the soul think about it? Like, let's get to the core. Okay, yes, okay, I'm angry. Yes, okay, I'm disappointed. Yes, okay, I had this in mind, but what does soul think about it? That's not so much letting go, but that's to have that clearer picture of reality, I think. Um, yeah. Like, for example, I've been going through this, and I think many people will relate to this. I'm going to share a personal story. I mean, not just a reflection about my family, my parents, and the family relationships are always the toughest ones, right? And the toughest one, we learn the most. They teach us patience, compassion, forgiveness, all the higher qualities that many of us came here to actually learn, right? But it doesn't make it any less challenging. Even if you understand all that, it doesn't make it any less challenging. Um, so in the past 5 years, you might say, since I started meditating regularly and practicing pranic healing and arhatic yoga, I during that time I keep visiting my parents regularly, right? Maybe once, maybe twice a year. And um, this year I went a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of noticed myself being much more accepting and peaceful and kind of compassionate, not wanting things for them, or not wanting them to do things in a certain way, to behave a certain way. It would be nice if they could know or discover or be aware um, of a better life, a possibility of an easier life for them, but they simply not. And it's almost like just now patiently waiting for them to get there, to be ready to see this, right? Whereas before I would want to convince them, drag them, tell them. It just doesn't work. But it wasn't a conscious decision of mine. It's just a shift in perspective that somewhere along the line it has happened, right? So I don't know if it's the forgiveness, if it's the acceptance that I've been practicing, if it's other things, the healing that I've applied on them, or anything. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I just found that it's just much easier, and our relationship is flourishing, and they've come a long way, and so have I. But yeah, just one of those things, right? You want things a certain way, and you are driven by these emotions and these wants and expectations. That's another one, just expecting someone to be something that you think is going to be better for them and for yourself. And it was lovely for me to actually sit down and reflect, wow, it's it's actually easier that way, and it's better because I can show up better for them. I don't cause friction. Sometimes I'm on a receiving end of a friction, but that's okay. This is what I'm here for. What can I learn from it? What's in the, what lessons are there for me? And yes, I am now talking, from a certain perspective. I'm not a saint. I still get triggered. Don't think that I don't. But it's much easier, even the minute you see yourself getting triggered, you are now in control, right? So yes, I get triggered, but I am happy that I can recognize it and then take a step back, and or maybe even reflect afterwards, after a reaction has come up, reflect. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if you've experienced something similar. I don't know where you're at in your family, and if you're open to sharing at all.
Absolutely. So at this point in my life, you bring up a really good point, and something that I've been learning from in the last couple of years. I
Mm,
I started this spiritual journey with pranic healing, particularly while living with family. And
mm,
it's not just my parents under this roof. It's me, it's my brother, it's my grandmother. And I've been caregiving for my grandmother for like
mm,
off and on for like the last 2 years. And that can be extremely challenging, moving back in with family as an adult and
yeah.
also taking on a caregiving role. And a lot came up to process,
Mm,
a lot of reactivity, a lot of old ingrained beliefs, and recognizing, where they are in their own perceptions versus where I'm at. And
mm,
compassion grew a lot in me. I believe that the inner reflection that I practice
yes.
daily has really elicited a lot of the reaction of having compassion, but also practicing meditation on twin hearts regularly,
Mm,
say, and doing healings.
mm,
Um, but on the note that you say with the reactivity and um what I've been learning from it is you can do a lot of good just in the way that you respond to people. And I realized that, some of the reactions they didn't realize were offensive to me or could be offensive to other people.
mm,
And I like calmly pointed it out. And some of those ingrained habits have changed and they've become
mm,
a little bit kinder in certain situations, not realizing how that affected other people.
mm,
It brings more cohesion into relationships and allows us to build a stronger foundation in our family.
mm.
So
Yeah.
it's been really interesting to observe
Mm,
that and to also be in it.
mm,
But it's also been challenging, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect whatsoever.
yeah. No,
Because
of course, and you're not meant to, because it's a journey, right? So, if the soul would leave the body if it didn't have anything else to learn. So just keep learning, So the soul is here to learn. So just keep it busy, for your own sake. Just keep it busy. Um, but I was listening to you, and it's interesting because a phrase came to mind, which I think describes it very well. Like, you know how people say, "Oh, when you get angry, don't react because just wait it out, right? Wait it out when you in that high emotional state, just wait it out." But how about we love it out? Like, how about we? I don't know if it might maybe have has a different meaning in English. English is not my first language, but if you say just love it out, like in a difficult situation, so you're not only not reacting straight away, but just making sure that whatever comes out of your mouth is loving, is kind, is necessary, like the test that recently is necessary, it's loving and it's kind. And I've recently saw something really but that's like an aside point, something really interesting. You don't tell people to change something that they can't change in 5 minutes. So if somebody has a speck of dust on the clothes, you tell them, right? Or maybe chocolate on the mouth, you tell them. But if it's something that they can't change in 5 minutes, just
Yeah.
just keep your mouth shut. And I think that in itself eliminates a lot of conflict and a lot of unnecessary struggle, right? And you can just dip it, just. But yeah, I think I'm gonna play with that love it out thing. I think it's there's something in it.
It does work. It does work.
Mm,
Because a lot of the time I'll respond lovingly, lovingly, like I really care about you and this is why I'm telling you this.
mm.
But when you said
Yeah,
this, it really hurt me.
yeah.
And just bringing that little bit of awareness to
Mhm.
something that was said or done can really
Yeah.
shape how somebody responds. And that gets into nonviolent communication, which can be very beneficial to so many people.
Yes. Yes. Rosenberg. Do you know of him? Rosenberg? Is that the nonviolent communication you're referring to?
I don't know if I've read Rosenberg, but I've heard of Rosenberg.
Okay. Yeah. 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 And they're just out of curiosity. Let's not go on a tangent, maybe.
But I found that it's very beneficial and it's not, at least in the United States, it's not typically been a very big anchor point in schools or in
Hmm.
home
Hmm.
life. But
Mm.
when it can be brought into family systems, it can be very beneficial and help people
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Families are a complex topic. If you look at it karmically, this is so much things are being worked out
Yeah.
um, in one family unit. So many shifts happening every day. It's phenomenal. So yeah,
And
and to have the privilege of being able to look at it that way, I'm really I'm so grateful to have that understanding, not necessarily to share it with my family members. Oh yes, mom, you chose this. Or
you
your
chose it.
bad karma, it's being worked out. Oh, you must have done something real bad. No, not like that. But to have that understanding, it helps me a lot. It
Yeah.
it doesn't make me a saint, but it helps me a lot to go through the struggles that you've been describing, right? Yeah.
It helps
Mm,
me to have a better
mm,
perspective on it and to be way more understanding. But not only in that, it helps me to have compassion for I would I wouldn't say that all people are family per se, but other beings, we're all in this together. We're all in a way
mm,
interconnected and the same. And it helps me to also have that perspective with strangers
mm,
and to treat them as I would treat my own family and
mm.
be kind and understanding. Also, obviously holding up your own safety net for yourself.
Yeah.
using discernment, but it helps me to also relate to strangers when they're reacting in different ways that
Mm.
compassion can still shine through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as we begin to close things down, what is your next big aspiration in your journey of conscious transformation? What are you looking to build?
I think my biggest aspiration is to have the strength and the perseverance to work on myself, because that's actually the only thing that ultimately I can do and control. And hoping that through that work, I can then um, shine a brighter light onto others. And
Mhm.
as Master Cho says, you keep shining, and then it's up to other people to actually to come and bathe in it or not. So I think, and that's my ultimate philosophy, the only thing you can control is yourself. And you can choose wisely, make decisions, perhaps make plans, and strive to achieve them. Uh, yeah, so my biggest ambition is to continue working on myself, to be consistent and persistent and persevere, and just continue on the journey, I think. And the rest will just fall into place. I really believe that.
Yeah, what a beautiful response. It's so true. I've even seen it in life. As
Mm,
you work on yourself, everything around you becomes clearer, and even responses of people that you come in contact with can improve and become easier and more aligned. It
mm.
all starts within.
It really, really does. It really, really does. And it's like this knowing, I know it more than ever. And it's not just words, like with letting go, it's not just words. It actually carries very strong meaning for me. Like this is also about the inner work, um, is what's important, because only then can you show up for others. Only then can you engage in huge acts of service, or help other people, your family. I do have all these great ambitions, but ultimately without inner work it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's a profound awareness and truly a huge feat. And it's incredible that you have chosen this path and are diligently working toward it to better yourself and ultimately serve and help others in their lives. It's amazing.
Thank you. I want to share something. I know we're wrapping up, but my partner says, or he used to say, not so much now, but he used to often say, everybody has a story to tell. All you need is somebody who wants to listen and needs to hear it.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody's got a story to tell is something um, that really resonates with me, because as I said at the beginning, I'm better in asking questions than answering them. And I'm feeling very self-aware throughout your podcast today. but but what helps me is remembering that everybody has a story to tell that somebody else needs to hear. So I think, what you're doing here, by kind of openly, spontaneously sharing experiences, thoughts, and reflections, is a beautiful, beautiful work. Because I believe that there is someone out there, not maybe even more than one person, but there are people out there who need to hear what was said today, right? And for whom this might be meaningful and change a lot, and maybe set them off on a completely different trajectory. So, yeah, well done, you.
Yeah. So received. As you were saying that, I got some of the wildest tingles all over my head.
There you go.
Very well received. I greatly appreciate that. And that is my hope and my dream for this
Mm,
passion project. I'm sure
mm,
it's one of many, um, because as I purify and as I do the practice, just these sorts of things unfold, and
mm.
all we do is embrace and create and
Yeah,
enjoy. I mean, life
yeah.
for living.
And what's also beautiful is that I think both you and I share this approach. Is yeah, it is about changing the world and making the world a better place, but you have to start from micro scale, right? So
Yes.
you help yourself, you help your family, you help your friends, you help your community, your city, your country, the entire world, that sort of thing. Um, and it's true for any growth, personal growth, business growth, charity growth, whatever, charity work growth. And I think we both recognize it. So we don't, I don't, yes, I do have big aspirations and but I know that it has to start from something real small. Um, yeah, and the ripple effect is kind of going to take you out there. So yeah, again, thank you for the opportunity.
You. It's been such a pleasure. Do you have any final thoughts or words of wisdom for our listeners today?
Wisdom. If I were wise, maybe. Oh my goodness, definitely not wisdom. No, sorry, I'm joking. Any no, I think um just keep going, right? Just it's simple. No, I don't have anything profound to bring. Um Ask me in I don't know 100 years when I'm wise, then I come back and maybe
Oh, you don't give yourself enough credit. You've shared so much wisdom throughout the entire podcast.
Say again. Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I said you don't give yourself enough credit. You've shared so much wisdom throughout this entire.
I think that just keep going, everything passes, just keep going. That what helps me in tough moments, but it also reminds me in those good moments that everything passes
Yeah.
and you just have to keep going. So I think it's simple but kind of universal, and I often say it to kind of repeat it in my head, when big events happen or small things happen in life. The second thing I would just reiterate is everything happens for a good reason. I truly believe that, um, and it's happening for you and not to you. So I think these three things, like very down to earth, but ultimately you can interpret it at a very high spiritual level, then it'll have value as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mm.
You remind you remind me of Finding Nemo's Dory. Keep swimming.
I was thinking about that, but I thought it would be a silly thing to bring up on the podcast.
Well, I heard you.
This is exactly what came to mind, and it's because Finding Nemo is so fresh in my memory because I watched it with my nephew that few couple of weeks
Oh,
ago. And yeah, just skip swim, just skip. I was going to come up with that, but then I thought maybe it's a bit silly for a podcast of this caliber, so I kept it to myself. So thank you for saying this.
I love bringing the joy and the happiness and the fun and
Uh-huh.
into
Yeah.
light. We don't have to be serious all the time.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good.
How can our listeners follow your work? How can they connect with you? I will add links in the description, of course.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Healing with Justyna, and I think that's the best place to go to for yeah, if you want to hear more from me or just see what yeah, I'm gonna finish talking now. Yeah, just go to Instagram, Healing with Justyna.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible insights and your inspiring journey with us. It's been a gift to have you on See Blissfully Lit. As we close, I will do a short meditation just to connect, to unwind, to integrate this beautiful conversation that we've shared. So if you're driving, don't do this right now. You can pause and do this later. Perhaps you can listen while you drive, but just don't practice. We'll go ahead and close our eyes or bring a soft gaze to the eyes. You can uncross your arms, uncross your legs, find a steady seat. Imagining your pelvis as a bowl of water and just finding that equal distribution of weight between the left and the right side. Moving to the back body, an imaginary line pulling through the crown of your head, pulling your spine straight, straight, straight. Just feeling your posture move up, allowing your heart to shine forward. Take a big, deep breath and sigh it all out. Take another deep, deep breath, sigh it out. Bring your awareness to your closed eyelids, what you see behind the eyes. And just allow your breath to regulate. A slow inhale and exhale. Being aware behind the eyes. Bringing the gaze toward the forehead. Just allowing yourself to sit in this space. No matter what's going on outside, recognizing the silence is bigger than any of the thoughts, any of the emotions, any of the external stimuli. Maintaining that awareness on that silence that we've found here together. Recognizing our peace and our oneness. And slowly opening your eyes, maintaining this awareness. Wiggling through the fingers, wiggling through the toes. Perhaps smiling as you come back. Holding this stillness with the eyes wide open. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you to all of our listeners. It has been a pleasure. As always, stay blissful. Namaste.